All right, welcome back. A very good morning once again. Where are you watching us from? It doesn't matter whether you are in China, Russia, the United Kingdom. Yes, it doesn't matter where you are. Sudan, yes, Southern Sudan, Central African Republic, Ethiopia, Egypt. Very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. This is Morning at NTV, the #1 breakfast show right here in Uganda. Our jurisdiction, we are grappling with some 127,580 cases of COVID-19. The bad news, 3,252 people have actually succumbed to this heinous disease, COVID-19, but 97,500 plus have actually recovered in that regard. But when you go to the Ministry of Health page, on their Twitter page, they are still telling us that 127,551 people have COVID-19. The numbers stagnated. There was an anomaly in the numbers there. I think the spokesperson Emmanuel Ainobiona will go and tweak it. Yes, they are saying previously we had registered 127,551 and we added 29 more cases, but still the number has stagnated at 127,551. It seems unofficial right there. The Minister of Health forgot to do some quick math there. If you were to add that number to 29, you end up with 127,580 cases of COVID-19. Please do not be swayed with what you're seeing on the Twitter page. It will be rectified later on. Largely, I do have Mr. Andrew Kagwa, who is here. I would like to talk about the Afrima Awards, the nominations that took center stage. Nominees were called on to Nigeria. They were told a day before to actually embark on a flight to go to Nigeria. They made their way to Echo Hotel. Some things or drama unfolded. They were promised some lunch at some point. Lunch did not take center stage. On the day of the nominations, they had to foot their own bills to actually get lunch and dinner in that regard. Now, if I'm being invited for a nomination or an award ceremony, why am I being, not accommodated? Why are issues of money still taking center stage? Spice Diana asked a very valid question. How can Ugandans also ensure that our music is as visible as our Nigerian counterparts? What was the response from the panelists? The panelists said, because they were Nigerian, they said the problem is language barrier. The problem is Ugandans are not singing in English. That's why your music is not in, making too much noise, just like the Nigerians. And it got me thinking, and other experts, even Kagwa, when Wizkid sings in his Yoruba and Pidgin, do we actually, put up a fight? Do we make noise over it? When Burna Boy speaks in or sings in his Pidgin, do we make noise? We just love the music because it is diverse. So why are they talking about language barrier in that regard? Or is this just disrespect when you do have these, Afrima Awards largely celebrating Nigerian music and not African music in that regard? The All African Music Awards, that's what I'm talking about. It seems like the All Nigerian Music Awards, if you will. A very good morning, Andrew Kagwa.
Good morning.
I think I'm lesser angrier than Mr. Taboo, the person who came up with these Twitter threads.
Brother Tetu.
Tetu.
He's an artist from
yes.
Kenya. And, he pointed out a couple of very valid things.
Mm-hmm.
And,
mostly on accommodation.
Like you see, we have always been having a problem as Africa. We try to do things as a whole. The difference between us and the US is that the US will do things as the US.
America first.
When they nominate Adele in the American Music Awards, they will really care less that she's English. And and they are not trying.
You might even fail to know that she's English.
Yeah, they are not pretending. They are not pretending that they are trying to bring everyone on board. I mean, that's the only reason why Wizkid and Thames Essence might have been a big song, but you didn't find it in the Song of the Year or Record of the Year at the Grammy Award nominations.
That can't happen.
Like they were tied in the Best Global Music Performance and the Best Global Music Album. But you see, with Africa, we always try to pretend. We always try to pretend that we are creating something that's bringing everyone on board, that's diverse, that's African, and it has never been the case. I remember there was a time when we used to have the Kora Awards. The Kora Awards are not very different from the Afrimas. The Kora Awards happened at the time when...
Are those the awards from Ghana?
No. They used to take place in South Africa, but the biggest stakeholders used to be the Francophonie. The Francophonie Africa.
Indeed.
And even the name Kora Awards, because Kora is is an instrument the same way you see a dungu. It's an instrument from the West African, and it's very prominent there. So even the name Kora words was telling already. At that time, West Africa was, no, not West Africa, Francophonie Africa.
French-speaking countries.
Yeah, was on top of the African musical ladder. So you had artists like Koffi Olomide from Congo, who most of them were actually signed to French labels, and so their music was coming from that side. Koffi Olomide, the likes of Kanda Bongo Man, the likes of Oliver, forgotten.
Oliver Ngoma.
Oliver Ngoma. He wasn't actually from Congo. He was from another country, but it was a Francophonie country.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, they were carrying the torch of African music. And whenever the Kora words were happening, they used to kind of disrespect everyone else that wasn't either from South Africa or the Francophonie.
Or whoever wasn't doing that particular kind of music.
Yeah. So there was a time when they nominated Bebe Cool and the Bashment Crew.
I remember.
That's when they had the song Africa Unite. And it is the same year Halima Namakula was nominated for a song called Africa Yetu. And when they went there, the treatment wasn't what they expected. And I remember in one of her arguments, Nazizi Huge of Bashment Crew and Necessary Noise from Kenya said, we are also stars from the countries we come from. We cannot come all the way to South Africa to be disrespected.
Indeed.
So right now, Nigerians are holding the torch of African music.
Afrobeats.
It's actually a very funny thing that at that time even Nigerians were disrespected, and they also used to complain.
Yeah, they would complain, I remember.
So at the moment they are holding the torch of Afrobeat, and it seems they are doing the same. But you see, what makes these two incidences different is the fact that when that used to happen, you would go to the Kora Awards, and the big artists were actually there. Like Koffi Olomide was attending, Kanda Bongo Man was attending. The difference here is that the Nigerians, our artists, were even competing with Burna Boy, Wizkid, Thames. Like you can name anyone, even if it's Omale. Many of them were not even at these awards. Many of them were either throwing a show in the US.
Indeed.
Because I know by the time the awards happened, Wizkid was in the UK. He has been shutting down the O2 Arena for, I think, 3 consecutive days. Burna Boy is in France, where he's holding a couple of sold-out shows. So, like, even the fact that the people you're being nominated against are not around shows you how much maybe they themselves are not even honoring these awards. But anyway, coming to our Ugandans being disrespected, we kind of deserve it.
Wait. Andrew Kagwa, we kind of deserve the treatment at the Afrima All Africa Music Awards, where they say, please come, you are invited, I'm a guest. And you know African culture, the least you can give an African is food. And then you tell me accommodation and everything is well catered for. I go to Echo Hotel.
I'll speak for Ugandans,
and I have to foot
I will
my
not
own
speak
bills.
for Kenyans.
Indeed.
For Ugandans, we deserve it.
What happened?
Why? Some of the artists that took a flight and went to Nigeria to lose because they lost. Some of them are people that are making it very difficult to even come for an interview for a Ugandan TV when a Ugandan TV needs them.
Why does that happen? By the way, that is a big point. You call Jasmine, she'll tell you, I'm still sleeping. I'm enjoying my sleep.
You see,
you call Sheba's manager, he'll tell you she's not around, but she's not doing anything. When in Waji, she's not doing anything, but the manager will not let you access her. Like they've decided to become demigods.
For the time I've been a journalist, I cannot mention the number of times I've scheduled interviews with people and they just do not show up. Or there are those that will show up, you do a story, you put it up, and it passes like it did not exist. And the moment some Nigerian unknown website or blog does something small about them,
they'll amplify it.
They'll amplify it, they'll keep it on Twitter, they'll even pin it. We are always looking for validation elsewhere, and probably these are the things that come with you trying to look for validation elsewhere.
So somehow they believe local media here can't add value onto
Like
them.
some of these artists have even never showed up for Ugandan awards where they are nominated.
Because they look down on the awards.
Because they look down on the awards. I know one of the nominated artists in this told Ugandans never to nominate him again. And so you end up in Nigeria and you being disrespected and you're complaining.
Because charity begins from
Like,
home. If you're not being respected at home.
What happened to you valuing the Ugandans that actually adore you? The ones that will wait for you. You walk into the building and everything stops.
Maybe you interacted with some of these people, Andrew Kagwa. Help our viewers understand this. Why would you refuse to go to a media house when they call on to you to give you airtime to actually talk about the music that you're doing? I've been grappling with this for over, I don't know, 2 years. I was wondering, if I'm calling you, you're in a lockdown, you're not doing anything, and this is a chance for you to be on air, talk about maybe what government should do for you as an artist, make some noise. The project you're doing, you know, in the pipeline, they refused. And I was wondering, why are they killing themselves?
They believe the media houses need them. Okay, they believe they no longer need...
They're too huge?
Media in Uganda. Because I remember when there's a time someone told me that they have more Facebook followers than the number of people that buy a newspaper, which might seem true, but how many of your followers are actually buying
your music?
Yeah, so anyway, many of them are living their life on social media. Others are living in their heads. Others are trying to copy everything they see probably on MTV. When they see an artist living large, they don't know that person actually puts in a lot of work. It's a couple of things.
And of course it is the opposite with the Nigerian artists. Andrew Kagwa, they respect the media. They always clamor for the media. This person, even though they are so busy, they'll give this media organization 2 minutes. Wizkid will be at a concert, he will step off stage, give MTV Base 2 or 5 minutes.
I can't say it's totally the same. Okay.
It is different, the way they totally embrace media.
They totally plan for their time and they know when they will need the media. I think the problem here is, I wouldn't want to go into that topic of dealing with the media and everything. The problem here is that people do not know when they actually have to need the media, and they do not know when to stay away from the media, because much as you need the media, there is time when you need to stay away, especially when you do not have anything to say, you do not have anything to sell. Like, it's okay to stay away and to maybe turn down interviews respectably, in a very respectable manner. So it's okay to turn away the media, but it's also important to show up when you actually need the media. So that's, I think, the difference between our artists and artists elsewhere. They know when they would need the media, and they do not just wake up and call for it.
Okay, then the viewer would like to know, why is it that when they are here, like from what you are mentioning to us, they actually stamp out too much influence? Like you said, they have too many Facebook followers and so forth. They actually command some kind of influence. That's why they feel like, I don't need to go to TVX to talk about my project. People already know. So why is it that when they go to these international platforms or outside the country, they are being disrespected immensely?
Because they are not known there. Like they are not, they are nobodies.
They think they are known here home, but when they go out, it's a different story.
Yes, and one of the reasons why that's happening is because we do not plan. We do not plan for when we are releasing music. We do not have a promotional plan.
Music will go through YouTube first, Facebook first, before we get it on the TV.
We are going to get music to move music from Ugandans that are already expecting it to, say, Nigerians that do not have an idea of who you are. And in our little minds, we've believed that awards are going to do that for us. But for all the Ugandans that have won Afrima awards, all the Ugandans that have won probably a Kora, and okay, we do not have a Ugandan that has won a Mama, but at least many have been nominated. But for all the awards people have been winning and being nominated for, by now we shouldn't be naive. By now we should know that in Africa, awards are not a big deal. And they are not a big deal because we do not attach a lot of tradition to these awards. Many of them will come, they will stay, and they will die. We do not have an award show in Africa that's even 20 years old.
I see.
Maybe the Kora Awards would have been that award, but the last time they had to happen, they nominated people. Bebe Cool was one of them, nominated for, I think, Best Reggae Album for his Go Mama, and the awards did not happen. The Mamas, which are MTV-driven awards, have happened in a very funny manner. Like, they will happen for 2 years, and then they will skip about 5, and then come back, and then go back, and then suddenly show up in Uganda, and then do not happen. So, like, we do not have an award show that people can look up to. Like, if we have an artist in Africa that's singing, and probably his parents are also singers, we do not have that award. We can say both the father and child have won this award. So in Africa, we do not have that attachment with awards. We do not respect them as much as people will respect the Grammy Awards, where Miley Cyrus will be, like, my very first experience with the Grammy Awards was when my father was nominated. And probably she has grown up, started singing, and she's also a nominee. Like, we do not have that in Africa. So we do not touch a lot of importance, and because of that, we do not have artists that have been discovered because they are nominees. I mean, when Jojo Okudi won a Kora Award, I think that would have been a big deal. But 3 or a few years later after he had won, where was Jojo Okudi? When you come back to Uganda, I do not know how many artists I could mention that have won Afrimas. Like Eddie Kenzo could be having around 3 or 4. Bebe Cool probably has 2 or 1. Cindy has 1. Irene Namatovo has 1. Sandra Nankoma has 1. Afri has been nominated like 3 or 4 times. But what's the back end? How do they benefit from these nominations?
Indeed.
So,
do they just stop at the nomination stage, or is there something that actually comes out of it?
Yeah, so truth is, Ugandans always put a lot of effort in, one, getting themselves voted after they've been nominated, and eventually going for the awards when they're invited. But
no plan after.
Like, what's the plan? Like, how am I benefiting from this? Like, for the other Afrimas have been around, at least they've proven to us that there is no value they add to an artist besides,
like what we saw at a hotel during Sunday, during these nominations.
Yeah,
well, Spice Diana did actually come up during the panel section. You know, they were talking about business and so forth, how to help African artists. So she stands up, you know, she speaks to these panelists, mainly from Nigeria. One was from Algeria. And she says, you know, how can, you know, Ugandan artists also, you know, be given this chance where we can, you know, distribute our music, and it's also competing at the same level with the Nigerian artists. One of the panelists says, you can't because of language barrier.
That
from
panelist
Uganda.
was stupid.
You understand? He was not diverse at all.
No, that panelist was just stupid.
All right.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to show you the kind, like, why people will not respect this kind of awards, or why they do not pay a lot of attention to this kind of awards. One, if a panelist can say that about music, music is the most consumed form of art. And the one reason why music is the most consumed form of art is because it has no language. Like,
it's all about the beat and the rhythm, the vibe.
The moment someone falls in love with a song, they will somehow find a way of relating to it, whether they understand what the song says or not. I mean, take an example of one of the biggest songs we were listening to when we were growing up. Was it Macarena?
Macarena. Yeah.
Like, to date, I don't even understand what Macarena was about. And yet, for some reason, we dance to that song. There are Nigerians that are dancing to Diamond Platinum's songs, but those people do not speak Swahili. So, one, that coming from a panelist at such a big stage shows you the kind of people they went to. Like, that's someone that's not informed at all, because I mean,
he's not informed at all. We were vibing to Apocalypto, we didn't understand it.
Onyenka, which was one of the biggest songs from Burna Boy's Twice as Taller. Like even many of the dialect speaks on his opening song, or even the song where he features Sauti Sol. Like there's a lot of dialect we do not understand. Some of it is Pidgin, the other is Swahili, and the other is Yoruba. Like we do not understand these things, but for some reason these songs went places. So it was a very lousy answer from a panelist, but it still shows you that these awards are not really tailored for the rest of Africa. Only Nigeria. We are technically invited to be witnesses and then win some regional.
I can't forget this one. This is why they asked Tete, the artist who made the noise on Twitter, what do you think about Nigerian music? Who is the biggest artist in Nigeria? Remember, you're a nominee. You've come for the awards, and this is what you're being asked about Nigeria, and not even about Kenya, where you're coming from. The biggest artist in Nigeria, the biggest song. What do you like most about Nigeria?
And I'm imagining the people that were asking that were Nigerian journalists.
Of course, they were the panelists.
Which still goes back to the fact that the awards are not inclusive in their process.
Thank you.
But like why I said we deserve that. Nigerians did not get where they are by coming for award shows in Uganda.
Of course, they first embraced the local awards. I remember very well. They even made meetings, they made plans. They were like,
local awards.
We need to first embrace them.
They embraced their local industry.
I remember very well.
Our artists need to love their industry more.
I remember they said if we are to bring Rick Ross to Nigeria, they said we need to first show Rick Ross that the Nigerians love Nigerian music. Nigerian artists love and celebrate Nigerian music. That's how Rick Ross might want to be involved with such a group. That's why Kanye West would want to be involved with such a group. And it did happen 2 years later.
Even when you look at the numbers, because on December 1st, Spotify released the numbers of they wrapped up the year, like how people were listening. Like personally, I received my numbers of which music I listened to more, which genres I listened to more. So they released their numbers of how countries were listening. And you could notice that the top 5 most listened to artists in Nigeria, 3 were Nigerians and 2 were foreign, those 2 being Drake and Justin Bieber. When it comes to Uganda, the top 5 most listened to artists were Justin Bieber, Drake, Kanye West.
Can you imagine?
Wizkid, Burna Boy.
How do we help our artists, understand their
And actually, when you break it down more and you go and see all the top 10, there was not a single Ugandan artist that was one of the 10 most listened.
Then I have Mbide on the line. In a nutshell, we've been talking about the problem. Let's get the answer. What do we do to help our artists understand their value? In a nutshell.
I think artists need to find themselves. Finding yourself is a very important thing. At the moment, they are jumping onto anything that becomes a fad. When Nigerian music becomes a fad, they jump onto it and they start sounding like Nigerians.
We need something that can identify Ugandan music. When
bongo is a thing, they jump onto it. Now we are doing amapiano. So we need to find ourselves. We need to find our voice.
Find an identity. Thank you very much. Andrew Kagwa, he is an arts and culture journalist working with the Daily Monitor NMG. If